Welcome to another episode of the Dog on It Trucking Podcast. We have Michelle and Chad with us today from ReadyChek. Welcome, Michelle and Chad. How are you?
Good.
Good.
How are you?
Thanks for having us.
Hey, other than the slight technical difficulties we had just at the beginning, life is good despite what the heck is going on at the moment.
Right.
ReadyChek. Tell me a little bit about this product, and we'll get into it more in depth, but what the heck is ReadyChek?
ReadyChek is an app that we've created that will help drivers of commercial vehicles get rid of the paper books that they have to use every day and allow them the opportunity to use a device, mobile device, their phone or a tablet, to do their pre-safety checks quickly and easily on the tablet, as opposed to having to write out their books. And it allows them to do that on site wherever they're at. And then that will immediately be sent to the operators as well for them to see immediately versus the once a week, once a month, whenever they can talk them into it, bringing the books in and getting those into the operators. So it's supposed to make life easier for the operator, and it's supposed to make life easier for the drivers in order to do their pre-checks.
Okay, so I'm going to translate a little bit. What you're calling a pre-check, a lot of people would call either a circle check or a
Right.
PTI, pre-trip inspection.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that's what you've targeted. What is your target market?
Go ahead.
Okay. So our target market is the truck drivers who are within the 160 kilometer daily range, right? So we're not going over after the long haul market. They have ELDs and they have a number of obviously options on ELDs that take care of this type of thing. But what we found is that there's a whole group of truck drivers. I'm going to call them short haul if you want, or the landscape companies, the cement companies, the people who drive around town doing cable repairs, that type of thing. They also have to do daily vehicle inspections, and they do it on paper. So we're really targeting that group of people, that group of drivers, to use the product and to make their life a little easier by not having to write the same thing out over and over again every day. Where they are, where they started from, that type of thing, the company they work for. A lot of drivers have to write that every single day. Well, with our app, that's already pre-filled. They can focus on the results of the inspection and then moving on to their daily to their job.
Yeah, I think that's key. It's really interesting that to me that you've targeted and honed right in on the 160K market, because they are the ones who are not required to have a paper log, but they are required to have the paper version of their vehicle inspection.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's great because it saves, especially now with COVID, it saves people from interacting, right? Like the driver just goes to their vehicle, they do their pre-trip inspection, they quickly record it on the app, and then a digital copy is automatically sent to our cloud servers, and then emails are then sent out to the fleet safety manager, for example, notifying them how the inspection went. So no more like Michelle mentioned, no more glove boxes or anything like that, just stuffed full of all the vehicle inspections that should have been turned in already, that type of thing.
Well, let me ask you this question. What happens when there's hopefully the driver actually performs a vehicle inspection? That's the first challenge, of course, but he did perform it and he found a violation. Now what happens?
Well, it's quite easy in the app. So the app has, we should also mention this, the app follows Schedule 1 and 2 of Ontario's regulations, right? And so it's very specific for Ontario. And that also covers, since Ontario is basically more strict than the other provinces, that also allows us to cover the other provinces as well. But so what we have is we have each system and component that's listed in the regulations and listed in the app, and the driver has the option to, let's say they look at the tires and there's a problem with the sidewall of the tires. they click right beside the tire option. There's a button called report. They click the report. It lists all the majors and minors right there for them. So you don't have to memorize anything. You go, yep, there's a problem with the sidewall. You click it. You click, there's a problem with the sidewall. You say done. And then it comes back to the screen and you see that the driver's reported that minor, right? And it lists it as a minor. And then once the driver acknowledges that the inspection's been done, they sign the inspection, they press save. And at that point, that copy gets sent to, so with the minor, they know they can still drive for the rest of the day, right? So copy of that inspection goes to the, to the safety manager, let's say, or the fleet manager, and they can schedule right away. The safety manager can say, oh, okay, look, so-and-so has a problem with the tire. I'll contact the mechanic and we can get that scheduled in for the end of the day when they're done their shift. So there's lots of different ways, well, specifically with email, that the safety manager and others can get notified of problems like that.
Okay, and you said they're all listed and broken out by majors and minors, so that the driver's not guessing.
No.
He just selects the correct defect.
Right, and I should add too to that, when the driver selects that minor, we let them know that it's safe to drive that day, right? And they acknowledge that. But if they were to take a major, right? So let's say the tire's flat or something like that, and they pick that, we say, hey, this truck is not safe to drive, right? And right away, they know that they shouldn't go out on the roads.
All right, well, and I think it was Chad from previous conversations with Michelle. I think it was you came up with this idea as to creating this app. Take me back. Why did you target this? What was the need?
So I'm just going to correct you there a little bit. So a friend of ours, our actual co-founder too, Daryl Bates, he is in the industry, right? So
Okay.
He works for a company that does fiber optic cable in Kitchener-Waterloo and surrounding areas. And he's doing this every day, right? So he noticed, hey, I'm going through this, I'm checking this, filling out the exact same information every single day. And, in the wintertime, my pen's frozen, so I can't do it. In the summertime, or worse, somebody took the book out of his truck to do it in another truck. So now, he just doesn't have the book, things like that. So he was fed up. He was like, hey, there's got to be a better way to do this, right? And he's right, there is. And so he and I know each other from hockey. Our kids play hockey together, and then we started playing hockey together. And he came to me one day and he says, hey, Chad, this is what I have to do every day. Do you think, because he knew I was in software and computers, do you think we could write an app for this? And I looked at it and I said, yeah, you bet. This is the perfect example of how to write an app, right? So then we got together and we talked about it. Michelle and I did a whole bunch of research.
Yeah, we did a lot of market research because we couldn't believe that there wasn't already something out there. And we probably searched for a couple of months, and every time we thought we found something, it turned out that it wasn't the same, or it was very generic for rental cars, or cat equipment, or something that just wasn't up to snuff when it comes to the Ontario standards and schedules that need to be done for the commercial drivers. It was going to be very manual. They could enter in all of their manual lists, and it just wasn't very good. So when we finally found out that there just wasn't anything out there besides paying for a very expensive ELD that has 90% of its use not required for the 160 crew, we just decided we'd go ahead and do it because clearly there was a need for it.
Mm-hmm.
And besides that, did you do any other market research?
Well, yeah, we definitely looked around, and we definitely talked to a lot of people, right? So it turns out once you start asking around, they're all of your friends, a lot of your friends are in this industry, right? And they just kept saying, yeah, they just kept saying, yeah, we use paper and we hate it. And then we got a little creative. We just started asking random people. We would see a bus,
gas stations.
Yeah, gas stations, buses pulled over. We'd run in and say, hey, do you do pre-trip inspection on this? And they looked at us like, are you with the MTO? And we're like, no, we're just asking, right? And they said, yeah, this, and they'd show us the paper and we get more information. And then we, after a couple of months of that, we kind of talked to Daryl again and said, Daryl, this sounds too good to be true, that everybody at this level, or this 160 level, is doing it on paper. So we started with Daryl, and Daryl's been the guinea pig for a long time now, but he got the very first version of the app, and then he would give us feedback because he would use it every day. So we iterated quickly on that until
he stood in gas station parking lots and used his version of the app and demoed to other drivers who all of a sudden got very excited and said they would go talk to their fleet managers. And so we have a lot of cards from a lot of people from a lot of gas stations. And honestly, I've stopped on the side of the road a few times to talk to work crews from various companies just to see, their interest, how they would like to do it, and are they still on paper? And I've met no one who isn't still on paper. So
I think it's a huge market, especially the 160 group, because there's like utility companies, telephone companies, cable companies, hydro companies,
masonry, excavating, all of it.
And I won't say cement companies, that is the ready mix industry.
Yes, the ready mix industry, yeah.
Well, because the people in ready mix will smack me up the side of my head if I say cement, because that's the powder, of course. But
yes, right.
Well, it's just, I have a ready mix client as well, and they make sure they were impressed that I knew it wasn't cement, that it was actually ready mix or concrete.
Awesome. That's
so
good.
What
to them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've viewed some of the demos, and by the way, those who are listening, there are demos in the link below. You can click on those demos if you wanted to see ReadyChek in action. I think it's Michelle who narrates the videos.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, don't laugh, Michelle. You're doing a great job.
Yes.
Hey.
Well, Chad did the first one, so we decided to switch.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't hear the first one. I've only heard.
No, that's okay.
Okay. Is it, now you got me curious. Is it still on the web?
Sure.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
I could send you a link to it. Yes.
Yeah. No. It's okay.
He was very enthusiastic. We enjoyed it. It was just we decided that he's a very busy guy, so I could do more of the videos.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just laughing because we are in a world today that is YouTube centric or video. Everybody wants to watch the damn video. And that's one of the reasons I created this program or this podcast more than a year ago. Before COVID, by the way, this was created. We're up now. This will be episode 60 something. I even forget. 62, 63, somewhere around there. But nice. What else do we need to know about ReadyChek? It makes the driver's life easier. How about for management?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So there's also, besides we talked earlier about how an email gets sent to management, letting them know the status of the inspection, whether it's good, whether a minor was reported, whether a major was reported. We also have a whole a website, we call a web portal, designed for management, where they can go in and they can add new trucks, remove trucks, add trailers, remove trailers, and then of course look at the inspection results and see which ones they need to action, right? So if there's minors reported, to get that schedule with the mechanic to be taken care of. We also track the expiry of their annual, right? So that we warn them ahead of time. We give them, I believe it starts at 90 days. We give them a 90-day notice that their annual for that vehicle will expire. And then we count it down all the way down to, of course, 0 and expired, and we show them that information. So we do have a little bit of a fleet management portal, web portal available for them to use.
Now, how long does it keep a defect listed? And
everything will stay in the portal forever. We're not hiding or rolling off any of the data. So for as long as they have the defect on the truck, it will show as a defect. But if they go in and they repair the defect, then the vehicle status will change back to good. So it won't show the defect after they've repaired it. It'll
Okay.
just show that the vehicle is repaired, that it's good.
Yeah, in most cases, MTO goes back 6 months,
Mhm.
although they can go back 2 years, of course. But
Yeah.
during an audit, it's usually just a 6-month window that they're looking at.
Yeah, we
So-
will keep everything for as long as they use the product. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. What else do we need to know about ReadyChek? What would you like to say?
Well, I mean, we can tell you the pricing model if that helps anyone who's listening. So the pricing
Sure.
model, our introductory pricing model right now is, we believe, quite helpful to some of the smaller businesses because it's sort of a pay-as-you-go kind of deal where if they don't use it a lot, then they pay less. So what happens is for every truck or trailer in the system, there's a monthly maintenance fee for $1. So if there are 2 trucks and 2 trailers, that would be $4 a month. And then on top of that is just a 50 cents per inspection fee. So if the company does 100 inspections for the month, then that would be $50 on top of the maintenance fee. So in the winter for landscapers, they would only pay the maintenance fee, which helps cover the cost of sort of hosting their data in the cloud. And then they wouldn't pay anything for the inspections.
Well, and I mean, even landscapers might be operating some of their equipment
Yeah.
some of the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah,
that's
we have a few that don't. So that was my example, is just that we have some that are very quiet in the winter and so they wouldn't have a lot of activity. So the less activity, then the lower the bill for that month.
yeah.
Right.
And that was one of the key features we wanted to have, was the ability to adjust with the business as their business fluctuates over the year, right? And so right now, obviously with spring here, we have a lot of landscapers using our product. They've onboarded a number of new people, and we see that. And then in the fall and the winter, when maybe they're only, they're not as busy and they're cleaning driveways and stuff, getting the snow off driveways, then as their usage goes down, their bill also goes down.
That's wonderful. I mean, it's thoughtful because as their revenue decreases, so does this expense,
Mhm.
Right.
basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Did I not see a free version of some sort?
So what we do is for anyone who only operates with a single truck, so a truck, no trailer, they're just sort of a one-man or one-woman show in terms of their business. They can use us for free for as long as they only have one vehicle.
Or if I was really curious, I could test it out for free with one vehicle.
Absolutely.
You can test it out for free with your entire fleet.
Yeah.
We give you a month where we try to help you get everything set up. You get as many people on as you want. The app is free to download on as many devices as you want. We do not charge for the download of the app, and then we don't care how many times it's downloaded. So if you're coming to us and you have 10 drivers and 15 trucks and 6 trailers, we let you put all of that into the system and play with it for a month and try it out and see if it works for you and see if everyone can use it and is happy with it. And then we work out a purchase agreement and we figure out when your start date is so that you know when to ditch the books, and then you can go. We don't force anyone to try us with just one vehicle. If they're going to do more than one vehicle, we do give them at least a month to play with the product and get used to it and get everybody on board and sort of trained. And then we start with the charge.
Awesome. Michelle, Chad, what else do we need to know about ReadyChek?
We do have options now that we have started or added to the product with regards to COVID check-ins. So we know that a lot of companies right now are requiring that people fill out a sheet of paper every day that says, I don't have any of the following symptoms. I'm safe to come to work, or actually I have a cough and I've been around someone who was COVID positive, so I cannot come to work. So we do have the ability as an add-on to do what we call COVID check-ins for the drivers, that if it is turned on for your company, then each driver, before they would be permitted to do an inspection, they would have to go through this check-in procedure, which is simply links to the Ontario Health website where you answer the questions. You answer the questions, you click done, you come back, you tell us whether or not you're safe to come to work or not. You hit done, it sends an email to your employer that yes, you're safe to come in, and then it lets you move on and you do your inspection as usual. So those are 15 cents per check-in. So basically, we charged you the cost of a piece of paper if you were printing it to do the same thing only in the app.
Yeah.
And it's a heck of a lot better recorded, emailed to the right people, stored digitally. I just love digital stuff.
A lot of people don't understand too, when you're asking your employee to acknowledge all of these questions, and you've got that all that information there, that's actually considered personal health information. So that comes with a lot of regulations, so to speak. And this avoids that completely, because we don't record the information of the questions that they go through. That's all done on the Government of Ontario website, and then all we say is that, did you do it? Are you okay to did that app say you're okay to drive or be at work? And then you acknowledge that, and then away you go.
Yeah.
So it relieves a whole layer of responsibility because you're using Ontario.
Yeah.
Yeah, which means if Ontario updates the list and changes what questions they believe need to be asked, then they're automatically updated for what we ask you, because we don't have to keep track of that information. And at the same time, we're not violating any health regulations around different people at the office being able to read that email and see what your answers to those questions were. So it keeps your data private, and it's always up to date with what Ontario wants you to answer. So
That's awesome. So your ReadyChek product is compliant with Highway Traffic Act in Ontario, National Safety Code Acts, or Highway Traffic Acts in other provinces as well. It follows the Schedule 1, and did you say Schedule 2 as well?
we also have Schedule 2. So for buses, and we have a local bus company as well using us for Schedule 2.
Beautiful. So if you are a local company staying within 160 kilometers where you don't need to have paper logs, and you wanted a more robust, I would call it, vehicle inspection, they should be checking out ReadyChek. Would you somewhat agree?
Absolutely. Yes, of course.
Yes, I would like my phone to be a little busier, and I would love to talk to some more people about getting them signed up.
Oh, beautiful. Thanks so much, guys, Michelle and Chad, for coming on of ReadyChek. The links are in the show notes below. If you want to follow them on Facebook, Twitter, view the YouTube videos, all those links are below. Chad, it looked like you wanted to add something.
I was just going to say it's we spell ReadyChek a little differently. So you can go to readychek.ca, and that's CHEK.ca, right?
Or .com.
Or .com, yeah. So we leave the second C out of check.
Right.
Yeah,
so
if you're looking for ReadyChek, no second C.
You can spell ready normally, but check is CHEK.ca.
Correct.
Yes.
Or .com, yes.
And it's kind of like Safety Dog. I always, when I say, hey, it's Chris at Safety Dog, but dog is spelt, and I spell it out for them. And they go, huh?
Yeah.
So you must get somewhat the same reaction with ReadyChek, but no C in check.
Yes, our first actual received payment was from a check written to the wrong company.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's kind of funny. So it's ready, ReadyChek.ca.
Yes.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, guys, thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Wish you all the best with the product. And again, for the listeners and the viewers, if you are staying within 160K, this product is targeting you. So check it out.
Yeah. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you loved the show as much as I did. Please leave us a like, a thumbs up,
a review, a comment, a rating if it is in your heart. Thank you so much. And I do really appreciate your time. And join us again next week for another exciting interview.